Welcome back to the Encrypted Capital Recap for Friday, April 22nd. First off, we got Bitcoin barely hanging on to 40K. We had some news from Elon Musk come out yesterday stating that Tesla did not sell any crypto over the last 4 quarters, nor have they added to their positions. Market went crazy on that, but then we had some other news come out, which I'm going to get to in just a second, regarding the Fed in Ukraine. Also, take a look over here, XRP. XRP is trading at 72 cents. Also fell in tandem with the market. Obviously, Bitcoin is the leader, and so these altcoins tend to follow whatever Bitcoin does until it finally breaks away. Also, we got the total altcoin market cap still holding $1 trillion, trading at 1.06 trillion. And we'll go back here. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin dominance real quick. 41.61. Looks like we're starting to drop a little bit here, which is good. Obviously, we're waiting for these altcoins to take off, and we want to see that dominance drop into the high 30s to start getting some movement in these other assets. We did see over the course of the last couple days some of these starting to take off. ZRX was one. One Ledger was another one, and that's up actually today right now in Bitcoin. In the Bitcoin trading pair, at least, One Ledger is trading 16% higher. Lisk also up 30%, looking really nice. And then we also have some other ones in the top 10, like Bitcoin Cash, Zcash. Those are looking all right, up a couple percent. So let's dive into the news real quick. Let's see what's going on here. So first off, I got for you guys, it says the market wrap. Bitcoin rise loses steam after Fed comments. So market pushed up higher on Elon's comments about not selling Bitcoin. And now tighter monetary policy has been a headwind for stocks and cryptos, but indicators remain bullish over the short term. So essentially what happened was it says that Bitcoin backed away from Thursday's high of 42.9 during the New York trading session. The cryptocurrency is showing signs of improving momentum, blah, blah, blah. But it says on Thursday, Fed Reserve Chairman Powell said raising the benchmark U.S. interest rate by 50 basis points will be on the table for the next FOMC meeting in May. So far, tighter monetary policy has been a headwind for speculative assets such as stocks and cryptocurrencies this year. So on that Fed news, 50 basis point hike, market did not like that. And so we saw it taper off as soon as that announcement came out, which was just hours after the Elon Musk news. So also want to point out here too, it says that the EU officials considered Bitcoin trading ban to enforce proposed mining ban. It says previously unseen documents detailing the EU's conversations around banning Bitcoin have come to light following a Freedom of Information request. It says that the European Union officials discussed banning Bitcoin during a debate on a proposal to ban POW mining, which is what Bitcoin runs on, according to those documents for the Freedom of Information request. It says that according to a report published by German digital culture organization Netzpolitik, officials from the EU went as far as suggesting that an all-out ban on trading Bitcoin should be enforced in order to curb its overall energy consumption. And so we've seen this narrative being spewed out about Bitcoin and energy consumption. And I actually had one of my really good friends reach out yesterday. He knows my take on Bitcoin. I think it's been the plan all along. And he was asking, well, if Bitcoin's been the plan all along, why are they trying to squash it with the, energy consumption narrative, it not being green, using too much power, etc. I told him my stance on it was the fact that I think Bitcoin was the prototype, and it's a lot easier to get people on board with what you want them to do when you make them think that it's their idea. So for instance, Bitcoin kind of having the libertarian mindset, anonymous cryptocurrency, anonymous transactions, private, you're turning yourself into your own bank. All those are really good selling points. And that's what's going to bring people into using a digital currency versus, hey, we just collapsed the fiat monetary system. Now we're ushering in this new digital currency. Use it. You're going to have a lot more people fighting back on that over people just thinking like, hey, Bitcoin's revolutionary. It's a great idea. anonymous transactions, they can't be tracked, they can't be traced. And then as time unfolds, you're starting to see, well, Bitcoin's bad for the environment. Now it can be tracked and traced. Now we want to do central bank digital currencies. And so they've already got people on board with Bitcoin. But in my opinion, the look here, don't look here narrative of, yeah, you guys can go get into Bitcoin. We're not even going to tell you who made it. Some guy in his basement, apparently, which I definitely don't think it is. I think it's a government or other sort of country or entity or something along those lines, a group of people. The fact that so many people are able to get behind a currency and no one knows who created it, and the Bitcoin maxis have no problem with that, is very, very troubling. So I think this is a perfect bait and switch. You get people involved with Bitcoin, but really you want them to use your new digital dollar or new central bank digital currency, however that might look. You know, it's going to take a good decade or so to mold the population and mold people's thinking into why digital currencies are a good idea. But in all reality, if you look at the value of the dollar, it's depreciated over 98% in the last 100 years. So we don't really have much time left for paper currency, but we can go ahead and swap it out for digital. And we're already starting to see that, as you know. All of the numbers in your bank account are just ones and zeros, and how many people really carry cash on them anymore. All things that you guys need to think about and consider. Again, having the contrarian mindset, looking at things from the opposite point of view. I could be totally wrong, and obviously this is all just speculation, but if I were to try and get people on board to do something that I think they're probably going to push back on, I would make it appear as it's their idea and it's something revolutionary and libertarian. And in all reality, it's the exact opposite. Also, here's another perfect example. Hey, everybody get your shot. Otherwise, you're going to kill grandma. Oh, yeah, we should go get our shots and go get all 3 boosters. Yet Pfizer's the one that wants you to inject yourself with all their drugs. Again, bait and switch. Make people think it's their idea, and they will be more accepting of it. Also, I was telling my friends, like I said, you probably have, if you go to the Novogratzes and the digital currency groups and the Grayscales and the Barry Silberts and the Gemini twins and all these people that have a lot of clout in the cryptocurrency space and have a lot of Bitcoin, altogether, if you include the personal sums and the private corporations and the institutions and how much they actually own of these assets, the sailors and how much MicroStrategy owns, you go and add all these people up, you're at over somewhere between 10 and 15% of all Bitcoin in existence is owned by a handful of people. So that's really not much different than what we have in our own current financial fiat system. It's just now been transmuted into digital currencies. So when you have such a small group of people control an asset, it doesn't really make it as decentralized as I think people might think it actually is. I think it's a lot more centralized than people realize. And that's my 2 cents. That's my speculation. That's what I was getting into with my buddy yesterday, into why I think that this green narrative is coming out and why, you need to go into assets that have very limited power consumption. And if you go look at XRP and XLM, they have the least out of all of them, right? And those are the ones that are working with the MoneyGrams and the ones that are handling international cross-border settlements and the ones that are set up to basically cross over all the Swift clients into utilizing a better technology to send money all over the world instantly with low transaction fees. All that stuff is basically right there in front of your face. And so get people on board with Bitcoin and end up using something else that is still a digital currency, but that is even more controlled, maybe more centralized, maybe is ran by a corporation, etc. You guys can go down the rabbit hole, but that's just my thought process and what's going on here. So next up, we got Ukraine bans Bitcoin purchases with local currency amid martial law. So Ukrainians are now allowed to buy Bitcoin only with foreign currency with a monthly cap of $3,300. That 3,300, huh? Interesting dollar amount. Could be Illuminati confirmed. The National Bank of Ukraine continues taking measures to prevent capital outflows amid martial law by enforcing major restrictions on crypto purchases. It says the Ukrainian central bank officially announced Thursday a set of restrictions on cross-border operations, prohibiting individuals from buying cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin with the national fiat currency. So again, this is what I was talking about with my friend about, like, you basically just need to cut off the on and off ramps, and then if some news story comes out and crashes Bitcoin, people aren't going to want to use it if it becomes worthless. I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's probably very unlikely to happen, but it could happen because we see 90% corrections in a bear market every time we get one. So why would it be so far-fetched to think that a cryptocurrency could be dropped 95, 97, 98%? And if there's no use for it, and right now, a lot of people just invest in Bitcoin because they want to make money. They're not actually using it every day. That's why the whole store of wealth is being portrayed onto people. And I can guarantee you, those big boys like Saylor and Musk, they're not looking at it as a store of wealth. They're looking at it as a way to make money and leave you holding the bag. Why are you going to want to sit in an asset that depreciates 90%? That's not really a store of wealth, is it? You got to use your head. You can't follow what the mainstream is saying, because what good is an asset if it's worth 100 grand one day and then a year from now it's worth 10? You just lost 90% of your value. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. You need to take all these crazy crypto gains and then throw those into assets that are also undervalued, that maybe don't have the crazy volatile swings. So like you get into like a gold or silver, okay? So yeah, it swings 20% maybe, but not 90, The whole store of wealth thing is absolutely bogus in my opinion. And now we got Ukraine limiting the residents using cryptocurrency. So could that happen here? And then they just usher in a CBDC. You can only use the Fed dollar instead now. Or, Coinbase, you can't use Bitcoin anymore, or whatever currency. I mean, they could really just limit the on and off ramps. And we saw what happened with XRP. Once they took away trading on XRP from Coinbase, what happened? It crashed from I don't know, I crashed 70% or something like that, if not more. I have to double check. But either way, this is what's going on in the news here. 99% of crypto assets are securities, warns Bitcoin firebrand Michael Saylor. This guy, this idiot, just spewing dumb things out of his mouth again. So this guy is basically saying that Bitcoin is a magical innovation and that it is not a security, but 99% of all the other cryptos are. How does that make any logical sense? I mean, just look at what Coinbase has to go through when they actually list a cryptocurrency on their exchange. They have to run it through the Howey test. So either they're all securities and we've been getting it wrong this whole time, or they're all not securities. Or according to Jay Clayton, he says over here, where is he at? Jay Clayton, he says why Bitcoin is not a security. He says these are replacements for sovereign currencies. They replace the dollar, the euro, the yen with Bitcoin. That type of currency is not a security, said Clayton. This was in June of 2018. He said because Bitcoin has never sought public funds to develop its technology, it does not pass the Howey test used by the SEC to classify securities. However, by Clayton's definition, tokens used in an ICO are securities. This would mean that by Jay Clayton's definition, the guy who brought down the hammer on Ripple, this would mean that Ethereum is a security, as Ethereum was an ICO, initial coin offering. So they've made this so convoluted and so hard to figure out for the average person to know if something's a security or not. It's absolutely mind-boggling. But the fact that you got Michael Saylor over here saying 99% of cryptos are securities, but Bitcoin is not, and that's a property, makes zero sense, because there's plenty of other cryptocurrencies out there that were started just like Bitcoin, where people don't know who they are, and they started them, and they're on exchanges. So that goes for a large host of cryptocurrencies. And then you have the whole debate of, well, if Ethereum was a security, and then you have 80% of crypto projects built upon Ethereum, are those all securities too? So convoluted and so hard to make up anybody's mind, really, unless you really dive into this stuff. But by their own definition, an ICO is a security, and that would mean Ethereum is a security. So do with that what you will. But just because some guy made Bitcoin in his basement, how can you say that that is not a security and these other ones are? It just makes absolutely zero sense. So Michael Saylor, I don't know what he's talking about. Like I said, he is part of the Bitcoin marketing arm, and you really have to dive in, look, and analyze at what these guys are saying, because they're saying these things for a reason. And a lot of the time, it's to distract and deter you to get them to do, or to get you to do what they want you to do. The only way they make money is by selling to you, essentially, and screwing with your head and making you do one thing when they're doing another. Because trading, as we all know, is a zero-sum game. For every winner, there is a loser, and the winners are going to be the billionaires, and the losers will always be the retail traders. So please analyze everything these guys say and take it with a grain of salt, because chances are they're not looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for their own and their buddies. And keep in mind, all their buddies are the ones that make up 10 to 15% ownership of all Bitcoins in existence. So keep that in mind. And let's see what else we have here. Oh, there was a time when Mike Novogratz said Bitcoin is security, but I can't find it. Also, a September to remember, Coinbase avoids SEC clash by dropping crypto lend product. Okay, this was back September 30th, 2021. Going back to my point of Coinbase weeding out all of the cryptocurrencies, using the Howey test, putting things on their platform, they dropped their crypto lend product because it did not pass the Howey test. Okay? Or it did pass the Howey test, basically meaning that it is a security, which is why they dropped their crypto lend product. But they still have like 9,000 other assets on their website, shit that I've never even heard of, that who knows who made, that they even state is very risky, high volatility, low volume. All that stuff is allowed to be put on the Coinbase website. And keep in mind, Coinbase, part of the Center Consortium with Circle, funded by Goldman Sachs and Novogratz, Galaxy Digital, basically all Goldman Sachs, Wall Street, controlling everything. I mean, can you go down the rabbit hole? Can you guys see how this is all connected? It's completely obvious. So anyways, I want to point out Howey test, securities, what is, what isn't, why Bitcoin is the way it is, and what my opinion is on it is that crypto has been the plan all along. Fiat is dying. They need to go into another asset or create another asset class, which they've done. This all came out of the financial crisis in 2008, and here we are. So take advantage of it. Buy things when they're low, sell things when they're high. Don't listen to the billionaires. Do your own research. And if you counter trade, if you go on Twitter and you counter trade any of these big pundits like BitBoy Crypto, for instance, do the exact opposite of what he says. You'll make an absolute killing. Dude's got millions of followers. Perfect way to mislead retail traders. So that being said, this was a longer video than I planned, but hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, share, get this stuff out there. Sign up for our newsletter if you guys want to support the channel. Free version, paid version. And with that being said, that will do it for this edition of the Encrypted Capital Recap. We will catch you all in the next video.